I love this. I would just do this. I'm just going to do this all day. Karnage Chronicles is a challenging co-op dungeon crawler for up to 4 players. The game is set in a fantasy world full of beautiful backdrops and dangerous enemies that mercilessly pursue you as you navigate each dungeon. You'll spend your time shooting and hacking your way through the well-crafted levels, collecting treasure, fighting bosses, and discovering secrets as you go. The game retails for $25 and is available as a PCVR game only on both Meta and Steam. So with that out of the way, let's jump into this adventure. Karnage Chronicles is a dungeon crawler through and through. Alright, let's go. Used our potion. Let's go berserk on these guys. No one's safe from us now. Oh, except for that guy. At the start of the game, you will select between 2 classes, Archer or Warrior. Both classes have access to melee and range weapons though, so you're not really missing out if you pick one over the other. After a short intro, you will meet a few characters, be given your first quest, and then sent off into your first of 3 dungeons. The dungeons are mostly linear as you move from checkpoint to checkpoint, but they do have branching paths and dead ends that you can explore for additional rewards. Alright, if this doesn't work though. Oh, I'm so excited. Yes. Oof, that was fun. I was pretty thorough in my playthrough, but I know for a fact that I still missed some major things, including an overarching quest that I was just too lazy to go back and do. Ah, this is another one of those pieces we've been collecting. That was like really far away. Yeah, we're not gonna go back and put this together. The gameplay is fairly light on puzzles, and for the most part, you could skip them entirely if you wanted to, but then you would miss out on moments like this. Alright, I think this is right. It was not that one. As for the combat, it is fun, but a bit on the floaty side, and it can be kinda hack and slash at certain times. If you're looking for blade and sorcery levels of combat, I'm starting to think that maybe we should be put on one of those watch lists. You aren't gonna find it here. However, the combat is fleshed out enough to have all the normal things you expect. You can block and parry, there are critical hits and weak points, and there are even some pretty cool bonus mechanics, like bouncing arrows off of the walls. Yes! Oh, that is cool. The enemy variety is good. Ah, gross, mushroom people. Yeah, were we supposed to do that? Oh my god. Oh my god. They also look super cool, and their AI is well done. Just be careful not to get into a situation like this. Okay, we're just praying here. Also, each dungeon will typically have 2 boss fights in it, which were some of the highlights of my playthrough. There are a few frustrating gameplay aspects as well though. For one, the mechanic of enemies spawning behind you is a bit overdone. And the weapon and equipment upgrades are mostly just stat blocks, either increasing your health or increasing your damage. Which is a bit of a letdown when you see a super cool helmet drop only to see that it's just going to give you 60 more health. But I wouldn't say these detracted from my experience very much. It's just something to know before you go into the game. Oh, and one last thing just to warn you, the first dungeon has a section that is swarming with spiders, including a spider boss fight. I would describe myself as having a healthy fear of spiders, but not full-blown arachnophobia, but this part was still a bit uncomfortable for me. This is the worst. The worst! The story for this game is pretty light and fairly typical for the genre. You are the hero created to stop the corrupted bad guy who's ruining the world order. Most of the story is told through some long but well voice acted dialogues. But because I have the attention span of a goldfish, I found myself skipping most of the dialogue and thus missing out on some of the finer details about the world. I did enjoy discovering more about the world's backstory though through the various scrolls and notes that you can find throughout the dungeons themselves. As for the sound for this game, it's great. I really liked the atmospheric sounds of the different dungeons, which really set the mood as you were adventuring. Additionally, the boss fights had their own music, which was super epic and really added to the excitement and tension in the moment. This is a good song. This is giving me like that last scene in Bastion. It's got a really good song. This is reminding me of it. Oh, that's a big boy. Though sometimes the music was just way too loud, especially with one of the boss fights in the middle of the game. That makes me sound like a grumpy old man complaining about loud music, and I get it. But seriously, please turn this music down. Finally, the art and graphics for this game are also exceptional. Everything from the enemies to the armor to the backdrops was just oozing with style. And there were some seriously breathtaking moments where I found myself just standing around admiring the scenery. We can smoke here and we can enjoy this now. Alright, that was enough. Let's see what we get. Ooh. The controls for this game are good and responsive. The swordplay feels right, and the bow mechanics all felt fun to use, though I did struggle with cranking the crossbow at times, and I would have appreciated if it was a bit sticky and easier to grab. The inventory system for this game also works really well. Instead of having a typical backpack that you pull out, you have a belt, and that allows you to easily grab what you need while in the middle of action. Okay, maybe we don't. Oh god. Alright, we just gotta eat like 12 apples. As for locomotion, you have the option for full locomotion or teleport movement, or a combination of both. However, some of the more common motion sickness settings were missing, like a movement vignette. So I would say this is probably not the best game if you are extremely prone to motion sickness. Additionally, you could technically play this game seated, though it wouldn't be my first recommendation because sitting is going to make it really hard to dodge arrows. Though honestly, I tanked so many arrows to the face, you'll probably be fine if you can't dodge them very well. Oh jeez, I think I can taste this one. Oh, one last thing I need to mention because it was so well done. Looting in this game is some of the best I have ever experienced. I don't specifically know why, but opening a chest and doing this, oh, this is so pretty. These diamonds look so good. That never gets old. Was just so satisfying, and I think I might be addicted to it now. Please send help. I would expect most people would complete this game's 3 dungeons in about 4 to 8 hours. However, there are multiple difficulties, and you can always reset a dungeon if you like to increase the replayability. For the record, I played on normal difficulty, and the fact that there were 2 more difficulties above this kinda scares me, since I had plenty of experiences like this. Additionally, though I didn't try it, the game allows for co-op with friends and strangers. If I had friends, I think this would be an amazing experience to play together. Though, make sure you trust whoever you're playing with because friendly fire is on for both enemies and allies.
Boom headshot! Boom headshot! Boom headshot!
Finally, you could also replay this game as a different class if you'd like, but I'm not sure how fun that would be because the classes don't really feel extremely unique between them. Overall, I had a lot of fun playing this game. There are definitely some areas I would like to see added to or improved, such as more classes or unique skill trees, and I know the devs likely have more ideas as well. So I see a lot of potential if there ever was a Karnage Chronicles 2 getting made. With that said, the gameplay loop of exploring a dungeon, getting better gear, and fighting bosses is extremely well done, and it kept me entertained throughout my entire playthrough. This is only improved on by the amazing graphics and wonderful sound design that really immerses you in the world. I think the best thing I can say for this game is I was sad when it ended, and I wanted just a little bit more to explore, and this is always the sign of an enjoyable game. So with that said, I'm giving this game a recommended stamp, though since this game is a bit older and in a fairly saturated genre, I would probably wait for a sale to pick it up. But if you have a buddy or two to experience this game with, I think you should definitely give this game a shot. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again. Also, if you want to see more clips of my experience, I have another video going over the game in the description below. That is so satisfying. If I just spent this whole game opening chests and mining minerals, I think I would still be happy.